On the set of the Harry Potter films, it was always funny laughs, gags. There was simply no end and the Edge constantly had to reshoot the scenes. Luckily, all of the so-called bad takes are still on tape too, so let's take a look at the highlights. You were probably looking for an excuse to watch all the Harry Potter films again. After these shots, you will take a fresh look at some of the scenes, and maybe even the whole franchise. Believe me, you will never be able to perceive one villain from this film in the same way as before Potter released the genie. Alan Rickman is simply inimitable in the role of Blindly. Who would have thought that a professional of this level cares about children's jokes? And here it is. To our surprise, he was only too happy to cheer up the crew. Once he even brought a fart pillow to the shooting. Yes, you heard right, Rickman and Michael spent a whole take on the third film just to fool around. Rickman persuaded the film crew to hide a special device that makes a special bag of farting sounds. Radcliffe during the filming of the dream scene in the big hall. So Agriman pronounced his monologue of the device, periodically interrupted it. The funniest thing, that Gambon and Radcliffe held on to the last and did not allow themselves to leave the role, they burst out laughing. Only at the very end, when no one on the set could contain laughter. We bet that now, revisiting this scene, you will definitely be thinking about how Potter releases Gen like this. The direct behavior of the actor Friedman and Herman makes the viewer even more inclined towards them. When adults make children understand that sometimes you can fool around. It's just priceless. An insidious bra to open the clasps on bras, and even that science without experience in this matter is not easy to figure out what's what. Now imagine yourself in the place of Daniel Radcliffe, who had to play not Harry Potter, but Fleur Delacour. Taking off her bra and changing into Harry Potter clothes turned out to be a difficult task for the actor during filming. It should be noted that Radcliffe really tried. He remembered how the bra is removed and perfectly parodied the movements. Fleur, so it seemed on the screen that it really was she. The likely actor just thought about the bra, did not want to succumb amusingly, as in the middle of the stage. Bennell shouted out to director David Getz, "This bra doesn't come off." This funny moment shows how considerate the creators of this franchise to detail could have just removed this scene and continued shooting, but they wanted to show the viewer the real magic of the wizarding world. Remember the first time you watched this moment in the movie? Indeed, all these people so believably turned into Harry Potter. To present magic on the screen is a difficult task. Laughing, Rupert says we are 100% sure that absolutely any scene with the participation of Ron Weasley was filmed several times. Why such confidence? The fact is that Rupert says he could not control himself during the filming. The guy constantly broke into a smile. But to be honest, for this, we love him and the actors giggle, stopping the filming process so much that the film crew had to constantly invent new ways to calm him down. Greta, during the filming of the first film, Alan Rickman advised him to just relax his facial muscles and not think about anything. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Probably, instead, Rupert thought about the Hans of the provinces. Then the film crew decided to try a new way to meet the schedule. Everyone who laughed too much in the frame received a red card penalty, and this served as a reminder for the actor to remain professional during filming. The funny thing, in our opinion, is how the director reacted to Rupert's fits of laughter. He had to remind a young actor that something serious has happened. It's just hilarious to hear David's voice is off screen. "Rupert, you just learned that a snake nearly killed a student. Doesn't smile." At the end of the phrase, "the failure of the Goblin Gringo." Then Chris Columbus worked a lot with children, actors. Among his works are famous films Home Alone and Month. Yes, here is the fire. But still, even years of experience do not always lead to genuine emotion from young actors. In the first film, Columbus wanted to shock the young Radcliffe. At the sight of a goblin at Green Bank, Horse, he asked the actors of Warwick Davis to shout their lines in such a way as to make the boy flinch. Davis did what was required of him. Well, and Radcliffe just laughed. Judging by this funny scene, Harry Potter is clearly not afraid of goblins. The director was calm about Harry's reaction. As a result, the walls turned out to be excellent, but it's very funny to look at the filming process, all the same, how it grew. Radcliffe's acting skills over the years of filming A Clumsy Dancer. When you watch Harry dancing at the Christmas ball, you remember a funny scene from the movie King of the Roads, where Bobby's Rivers are interviewed because of embarrassment. Teenagers do not really like to dance, especially when everyone is looking at them. You involuntarily blush tan, watching him nervously pace the dance floor. His legs do not obey him, and this is noticeable to everyone. But it turns out it was all a Harry Potter game. Perhaps he didn't know how to dance. But Daniel Radcliffe, even as he knew how to play this scene, was a real torment for the actor. He was faced with the daunting task of pretending to be bad dancers and at the same time appearing as awkward as possible. Imagine what it would be like to pretend that you write badly with your left hand. Although in life you were a left-handed person, it was about the same difficult, and Daniel Radcliffe kept forgetting and began to lead his partner and perform movements too confidently to achieve the desired result. The actor had to train hard until he was able to look convincing in the role of a bad dancer. Jolly Hagrid, as simply a unique character, says. In the books, he is closely friends with Ron, Harry and Hermione about films. He is even more closely connected with them. Their relationship develops into a real partnership. He says he constantly pulls the famous Trinity out of various troubles, and they, in turn, help him out. They look at each other with such kindness that the viewer sincerely believes in their friendship. It is quite rare for actors to feel so well for each other. Robbie Coltrane is worth it. From the first day I fell in love with the young actor. His behavior played a big role. On the set, looking at funny ska moments to the ranks, it becomes obvious that his smile can cheer everyone up during a hard day on the set. You should even pay tribute to the casting director of The Best Hagrid, and it's impossible to imagine Coltrane always helped diffuse the situation on the set, realizing the tension are tested by young actors. He always tried to calm them down and reminded them of what purpose they were working every day. Maggie Smith was getting out of character. Many wonderful actors were filmed about Harry Potter. We cannot fail to mention the genius Maggie Smith. Despite the hardest trials that fell to her lot during filming, Smith continued to work and did an excellent job of her role. Unlike Rupert Grint, it wasn't easy to make her laugh. She almost never went out of her way. However, there was still one moment when even Maggie could not stand it and laughed. You will never guess who made her laugh at Hogwarts School. There is another teacher, Dolores Amber, and she is the complete opposite of the carriage. Gal, the views of the two professors do not coincide so much that they endlessly swear in the Order of the Phoenix. Incredibly, it was Imelda Staunton, who plays Dolores Amber, who made Maggie Smith laugh. It looks like this is the only time that a replica of Amber has caused someone to smile. Emma Watson gets used to the role of Hermione. Director Chris Columbus gave Emma Watson a task to Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint to write an essay about their hero, and each went to the task. Exactly how their character would do it. Emma Watson. I wrote super long essay in the style of Hermione. During the filming of the first film, Emma Watson seriously prepared for the role and diligently learned all her lines. She got so carried away that she even learned the lines of the rest of the characters. Yes, Emma Watson knew the words of Hermione to Ron and Harry. In general, she knew the whole script by heart. Such dedication of the young actress. Definitely impressive. But on the set, this turned into some incidents. Afraid to miss his turn to speak, Emma whispered to herself the lines of other characters more than once. She had to reshoot the scenes, because here's her son, she spoke the lines with Radcliffe. It seems to us that this is a funny habit indeed, in the spirit of the excellent pupil Hermione. Emma got the ridiculous syndrome from Rupert. We just praised Emma Watson for her diligence, but it turns out she has her weaknesses. During the filming of the latest film in the franchise, Emma got ridiculous syndrome from Rupert. It's good that this happened not only during several stands. One of such scenes was a tea party at Mr. Love Hood. His character was in the habit of drinking tea very loudly, and this just pissed poor Emma out of her mind. She couldn't stop laughing, and so she had to hand over a red card for that. Everyone thought Rupert would be the one to giggle the most above this scene, but this time even he was surpassed by the MC. Rupert had a good laugh when they filmed Ron and Hermione's first kiss to overcome the awkwardness. The actors approached the scene with humor, and they did a great job. The audience believed that between Ron and Hermione. Real feeling. Hermione blunts Harry. We've already talked about how great they worked in pairs. Rupert says but also about Daniel Radcliffe. One should not forget the damage, and Harry has a whole lot of funny takes, where, he says, Radcliffe laughs to tears. But the scenes between Radcliffe are not so much funny as touching, believe me. They will make you smile. In the Harry Potter films, a lot of moments when Hermione is angry with Harry and either slaps him on the hand or pushes him not seriously. Of course, her movements are more reminiscent of how Fred snaps at Ponasov's club. The only problem is when you shoot multiple takes at once. The intensity of the blow is not always the same in Daniel Radcliffe. I had to find out from my own experience. Once Emma Watson slapped Ratcliffe so hard on the head with a roll of paper that he even commented that Hermione had turned into a boxing one. WhatsApp then laughed and hugged him, apologizing. It is a pity that this charming moment did not include a film based on the plot. Hermione has to lightly hit Harry more than once, and surely every such scene had at least one take, where Watson apologizes and hugs Ratcliffe. How cute, on her part. Do we really hope that now you have many reasons to re-watch all parts of the Harry Potter films? You don't have to thank. We are always happy to help. Write in the comments which fool you liked the most. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you in new videos.